Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm here with another app for you. This is one that's been earning very well for me. As you can see right here, you can see them bees buzzing away, making honey. And that's because we're talking about Honeygain today. And if you look on there, we're at $15, really close to the cash out. Now, Honeygain is an app that I talked about a while ago, about a year or so ago now that I think about it. If I go back and look, I could find exactly, but I've talked about the app before, and for good reason, because it's one that earns, and it's one that earns probably the most passively out of all the apps that I'm running. And the reason I say that is because I don't think I've reset these phones in probably a week, and they just continue to run, and they continue to make money. Now, you used to be able to run 6 devices per your account. You can't do that anymore. It's down to 3. If you try and run more, they just won't run and they won't earn. To give you an idea, this older phone has more issues than the newer phones. You can also run this on your PC as well, but I find just 3 phones earns fine. The problem that I have with the older devices is the fact that when you try and log in, sometimes they just don't want to log in. But once they're running, it runs just as good as the rest of them. So we're going to look into it. I did say $15, and the reason I haven't cashed out is because it takes $20 to cash out. That is the one downfall that I can say from this app itself, is the fact that, you know, it does have that $20 cash out threshold that you have to meet. What the app does, if you don't know anything about it, is you're basically selling your extra internet bandwidth to Honeygain for monetary value. At that point, you can see in the last 30 days exactly what my usage has been, and you can see for the most part it's pretty good. It will vary depending on what else you're running on your network itself, because they do use it as a VPN address. So if that's something that bothers you, or that's something you don't think that you want to do, this may not be the app for you. But in all honesty, I've never had any problems. I've never actually seen it really slow down my internet speed much at all either, because the more you use, just the less that it allows the app to use. And it does do a breakdown here of all your devices and how much they've earned. And as we can see, mine have earned pretty well on them. I did have the 6 devices. You could see on there that there were more devices at one point. I do sometimes switch them around if I want to run a different app on these phones. But really, for the past, I'd say 6 months, these phones have been running nothing but Honeygain on them. Like I said, by far the most passive app that I run. It takes up these 3 slots here on the phone farming board, and it's doing really well. I am going to be talking about some other apps in the upcoming weeks, ones that aren't earning quite at the steady rate that you see that this one is, but they will bring in extra income. I have had on a couple of messages come in saying, you know, can I earn X amount of dollars with this? If you're thinking you're going to try and do a full-time income out of any amount of phones, I hate to say it, but it's not going to happen at this point in time. You're not going to make that type of money. Years ago, that might have been the case. If you had 50, 100 phones, you could definitely make really good income per month. But just to give you an idea, this has been running since, I'd say, early January, and I've only made $15. So, you know, it's not really a great app as far as the earning potential. The reason why I love this app, though, is the fact that it is so passive. You literally do nothing. You start the app, and you can leave it running for weeks at a time. I've never even gone through, cleared the caches or anything on it. I don't know if it'll help. Maybe in the comments, if you noticed a difference, let me know. Because this app really is the most passive running at this point, I can say, of any of the apps that I have on the board. I will be talking about a few more. Like I said, some of them will be ones you need on your primary phone. Other ones you probably already have downloaded and you just don't know it. And if you would decide to use the apps, it would be a lot better, because if you're running the app I talked about last week, Cash Magnet, chances are you already have one of these apps I'm going to talk about in the upcoming weeks downloaded already. You just need to use it. But here you have it, Honeygain. Let them bees get to work for you, because put it on at least 3 devices. I know if you do a second account, I believe you can have another 3 on a separate account for the same IP address. Don't quote me on that for sure. I haven't tried it out, but I know when they switched over, I had a couple of comments in the section saying you can use 6 devices per IP address, just 3 devices per account. And I don't use this on my laptop, although I do know that you can use it on a desktop device. So I thank you all for joining me here on this video, learning about just apps, a way to make extra money for you. We've gotten a lot of, like I said, a lot of comments, a lot of more people watching these videos, and it really does help as far as keeping me inspired to do weekly content at least. As I continue to find more and more apps, I will most certainly let you guys know, because the community is really good about you know, finding what works and finding out what doesn't. I know there's a lot of people out there doing this type of thing, and I watch all the videos as well, because just because you know, it works in one area does not mean it's going to work in another. So it's all about finding what works best for you in the area you're in the amount of phones that you have to run, the speed of your internet, whether you want to use it as a primary device or not. I'm big on the receipt apps. I love them. They're ones I'm going to talk about in the upcoming weeks. I could literally make a video a day on some of these receipt apps, talking about how good they are. And I'm also going to go through and I'm going to revisit a lot of my previous apps that I've used and how they've changed, because some of my videos are getting a bit dated. The information is still good on them, but it's just nice to revisit and see updates that are made, because a lot of these apps have been running for multiple years at a time. They have made changes. I just haven't talked about them because they really haven't changed as far as the earnings on them. You're still earning good, but you know, it's nice to revisit some of the stuff, bring the content on the channel up to an updated amount of time. And as you can see, there are plenty of phones. We've talked about most of the phones up here now. So there's 2 devices here that are running an app that we've yet to talk about. The one down on the bottom, that's a really old phone. I'm playing with a few different apps that maybe you can make a little bit of cryptocurrency on some older devices, so that will be one to talk about. The white phone up there in the middle has been running an app I have talked about before that I'm gonna bring back again. But for this one, we're looking at the 3 devices that are lit up here on the screen, and that's Honeygain. Of course, if you want to join me, there will be a referral link in there. I love it. I really do appreciate everybody that uses my referral links. It does help out to make that little bit of extra money. If you like what I do here on the channel, please think about subscribing. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And as always, everyone, I thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.